Howdy and welcome to Texas Travelers RC. My name is Chuck. I live in East Texas. I've been out of flying for about 20 years and I am going to be joining the Tyler Modelers Club and flying out of the Tyler RC airfield here in Tyler, Texas. I've been out of flying for 20 years basically because I ran out of time to fly and build. Kids, work, traveling for work. I traveled all over the world, travel softball, and now with my oldest in college, on a full ride softball scholarship, by the way, I kind of have time to get back into this. And really I was driven to get back into this by an incident with prostate cancer that I've been fighting for 4 years. In 2020, 2 weeks after my 50th birthday, I was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. Had a prostatectomy. That did not get rid of it. I got 35 rounds of beam radiation, and I was on hormone suppression for 3 years, and I'm kind of recovering from all that. I've been doing a lot of sitting and just need something to get me up and going other than yard work or fixing something around the house. I need some piddle time. And I need to be back out in the world again, doing something. Because of some issues I have, one of my loves, fishing, is kind of out. I can't make it through a full round of golf. Hopefully one of these days I'll get back to where I can do that, but right now that's just not in the cards. Really, during all my time sitting around, I just sat on my phone in my recliner and watched YouTube, when I came across a channel with a gentleman testing glow engines. And I love glow engines. That's going to be primarily, I say primarily, that's going to be mainly what I focus on in my planes. I may do an electric, but glow engines, internal combustion engines, they really trip my switch, kind of to say. But I came across this channel and I started watching this guy's videos, and I was like, dang, I want to run engines. That looks like something I could do. And I was like, well, I can't run engines without flying. I just can't. And then I can't fly without building, and building's kind of what I really love to do. I mean, flying's great, but I love building planes from kits, plans, whatever. And I haven't done that in a very long time. I was fortunate while I was in instrumentation school that I was able to join a local club, learn to fly with an instructor. I'd previously tried to fly and got a Tower Trainer 60 all decked out, and on the maiden flight trying to teach myself how to fly, I promptly flew it into a pecan tree and destroyed it. So I got another chance when we moved to Marshall and I was in instrumentation school. This was in the 90s, and we had a great local club, instructors, active people. We had a local hobby shop. I became super good friends with the owner of the hobby shop. It was Pop's Hobbies in Marshall, Texas. The owner was Bob Wynn, and he was a mentor. He had been in the RC hobby for his whole life, and unfortunately he's passed now. And he really taught me a lot. He allowed me to use his shop to build in. He just was my mentor and a great friend. He had guys come in his shop all the time that had been long time RC guys here in the East Texas area, just guys with stellar reputations as flyers, builders, IMAC competitors, pattern competitors. They would just come and visit with Pop, and if I wasn't in school or I wasn't at home asleep, chances are I was in that hobby shop working. I didn't get paid to work there, but I did work on other people's stuff there, and he kind of gave me a little discount and just the room to build build planes. Like I said, I'm getting back into this. I really want to do something that Bob tried to start. And that is, he had a group called Texas Travelers, which I think was like 3 of us. And he wanted to travel all over Texas and expand it and things of that nature. And I think nowadays with social media and things like that, I think it's something easier to do. And what would be Texas Travelers? It would be a group of people that travel to events in Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and kind of represent Texas, provide feedback, maybe some video and commentary on those events, kind of spread the word about events. I'm planning on starting a Facebook group where we'll share local events. Hopefully we'll have people to go out and report on events as this grows, as I'm hoping that it will. I'm not going to attend every event. There's no way I can do that. But if I can make 4 or 5 events a year, report on them, maybe interview some people. There's a lot of guys out there that have been in this hobby forever that have good reputations and are good guys. That they have stories to tell. They have tips and tricks. If you listen to these old guys, they've seen it all and they really know what they're doing. I mean, I know one guy that is still with us that lives in Waco, that he's in the AMA Hall of Fame. He's a legend in Waco, and I hope to get to interview him. Probably that'll be one of my first events, is going to Waco after I build a plane, I solo a plane, and I feel comfortable traveling with a plane so I can take part in these events. And we're talking about local fly-ins, big birds, barnstormer events, competition events, swap meets, just all kinds of things. I'd like people to see videos from these and be like, oh, wow, that looked really fun. I'd really like to go to that next time it comes around. And we might do some things like eventually we'll have hats and shirts, and who knows what this could possibly grow into, but it has to have a place to start. Getting back to the person that kind of spurred me on, he has a channel on YouTube. It's called David's Stuff. It is the ultimate resource on glow engines on YouTube. He has thousands of videos where he's rebuilding engines, repairing engines, running engines, giving his take and review, giving you RPM numbers with various props and various fuels. I just think it is an extremely interesting channel, and frankly he's helped me a ton because I've reached out to him and had some email correspondence with him, and just everything I'm doing right now is on the cheap. So I have a used camera that I bought. I don't have professional lighting. I'm teaching myself how to edit videos. So I really owe it all to David, and I appreciate him. And anytime I use any material from David, I will be sure to link it. I will have a link to his channel in my description. It's really worth watching. If you have any interest in glow IC engines, it's worth a watch. So I'm not against almost ready to fly planes, bind and fly planes, foamies, anything of that nature. The generation I came from, we built from kits or plans, or I've owned some ARFs. One of my favorite stick planes was an ARF. I don't have anything against them, but the focus of this is I've seen, just kind of lurking around on forums and things of that nature, that there's a lot of people that seem like they're interested in building, and they just don't know where to start, and they don't know how to, they may be intimidated by the process. And I want to start back at the very ground level. I could probably build an intermediate plane and go out there and roughly fly it till I get my thumbs back into condition. But I want to change some things about the way I fly to begin with. I want to go from a thumb type pilot to a pinching type pilot, and I want to just have something that somebody that maybe is new to the hobby or is interested in the hobby can follow along. There's lots of us guys that like to do things by hand and build and things of that nature, and give you a resource of how to get started doing that, and that it's not intimidating and that you can do it. So really the first thing that you've got to ask yourself is why build? Well, number one is the challenge. It takes time, and you just get the thrill of taking something that's some plans, maybe some instructions, a bunch of wood, and building it yourself. Another reason to build is you will become more in tune with what goes into actually flying. You get more of the hows and whys than if you just buy something and throw it up into the air and it flies. You've got to learn things that you probably don't need to know with those type of planes, like incidents, getting really in tune with your center of gravity. So it brings a whole new set of challenges that I hope some people that are interested in building will give it a try. Another reason I'm going to use building myself as therapy. Just some time where I can clear my mind, I can take all the stresses of treatment, recovering from radiation damage and things of that nature, and just kind of like put the outside world away and just sit there and build. I've loved to build. I got into golf. I had to learn how to make golf clubs. And finally, why you should build is that if you make it through the experience and you get it all done, you really do. It's a proud accomplishment. I'm not saying that your first plane is going to look perfect. I'm not saying that you're not going to put a lot of time into your first plane. Actually, if you get past your first plane, you want to do it again, it's going to be more and more time. Although the second plane I built took shorter time than my first, but it's still, everything after that, you get bigger, you get more complex. You get into things that you've got to like lay out a wing on a building board different. You just don't build it flat on the board and things of that nature. But man, getting one done and running and working and flying is one heck of an accomplishment. So if you're still with me, I'm going to hit the cons of this first. Probably the biggest con in my mind is the sweat equity that goes into it. You're going to put a lot of time and effort into building a plane. There's just no way around it if you do it right. If you don't want to buy something that's already pretty much prefabbed or anything like that. You want to take pieces and build them into a plane. It's going to take time. It's going to take energy. You may have to walk away from it for a week or two. But if you stick with it, it's worth it. Another con is cost. There's not a lot of kits out there nowadays on the market. There are a few sites that sell kits. There's other places to get them. They can be a little pricey. I've heard people complain about the prices of kits, but really when I look back to what kits are going for now versus what they were in the late 90s, they pretty much gone up with inflation. Now there are some out there that people are just asking ridiculous money for, don't get me wrong. But if you look at what they originally cost 20 years ago and now look at what they are and factor in inflation, yeah, they're about where they should be most of the time. Another con is you have to have a workspace and tools. I am in my garage. That's where I am right now. We've been in this house for 4 years. It's not nearly the size of garage that I had before to work in, but I've worked in everything from the kitchen table to the floor to actually the top of this workbench used to be set up in the back of a walk-in closet, and I built back there. So you can make the space to work, and I'm going to help with that some using a board that I'm going to construct a board. It's going to be one of the first projects I do, not a plane here, to build on that is more portable than taking big old piece of drywall or taking a hollow core door and using that. I want something that I can put on and off my workbench and build on, because this is the only workbench I got, and I have other things to work on other than just remote control planes. And the biggest con, and this comes with any plane, is crashing. Foam planes, binding flies, everything out there, mistakes happen. I'm not saying that that you're not going to crash your first plane you build on the first flight. I hope not, but it happens. So if you're still with me after all the cons and say, hey, I'm still on board to give this a shot, let's talk about the pros of this. The first pro is also the first con. It's sweat equity. We talked about it earlier in why to build. It's an accomplishment. You build a plane, the first time you see those plane's wheels come off the ground, you are going to be just, it's an amazing feeling to see something that you took from a bunch of sticks and plans and built and sweated over and worried about and figured out and made work, modified, all this kind of stuff, actually fly. It's even better when it lands. Now that's one thing. If it goes up, it's going to come down. It's either going to come down good or it's going to come down bad. But man, seeing something that you built touch down for the first time and roll out, it's okay, and everything worked good, it's just a great feeling. Another pro, when you're building, your plane is going to be unique to you. Unless you build it and cover it exactly like somebody else's, that design is going to be unique to you. We're going to be covering with a plastic heat shrink film. We can do a lot of colors in that. We can cut and trim it out and do all kinds of designs. In today's bind and fly and ARF world, it's not uncommon to go to the airfield and 3 people are flying the exact same airplane. Now, they may move some stickers around on them, but at the base they're the same. If you build your own plane, it's going to be unique. Another thing about building your own plane that's a pro, much easier to modify. These planes that are already built, it's tough to do much with them except what's on the box. Yes, you can add lights and little things here and there, but I'm talking about real modifications. My first plane is going to be this Midwest Aerostar 60, which is a kit that is no longer in production. It's a great kit, but it's not exactly what I want. Like, it uses rubber bands to hold on the wings. I'm going to modify this to use wing bolts and dowels to hold on the wings. It uses a servo in the middle of the wing to move both ailerons. I don't like this setup on planes larger than 40 size because you're putting a lot of torque right down at the end of the aileron and it doesn't travel equally all the way up the aileron. I'm going to put a servo in both wings, and each aileron is going to be operated off that one servo that's dedicated to it. Therefore, you have less stress on the ailerons, you have less stress on the servo, and you'll just have more positive movement. A big plus for these Balsa airplanes is they're durable. Even if you crash them, I know my crashes, 70% of the time, they were repairable. A lot of times really easily fixable. You go back in there, you glue some stuff together, you fix some covering issues, you may have to remount your motor. Very repairable. A lot of times when you see foam planes really crash, they go into 100 pieces and that's it. You'd have to take a lot of time to glue all that stuff back together and it would never look the same. I know people that had planes that they've flown for 15, 20 years that they built, that they just were durable. And as long as they took care of them and kept them clean and kept them fuel proofed and did some general maintenance on them here and there, I know I was listening to a podcast, and one guy has a contender he's had for 15 years, and he flies it all the time still. They will last. They will definitely last if you take care of them much longer than most of the prefab planes that you see today. Now, I really want to say, if you're still in here with me, that if you're somebody who just now getting into this hobby and you want to build a plane, or you just want to fly period, and you go out and you buy a pre-built plane, please, if there's a local club or flying field, or hopefully both, find an instructor. Join the club. It doesn't cost a lot of money. They're probably going to make you join the AMA and get insurance. Find a local club. It's going to make the hobby much more enjoyable if you have somebody that helps you learn how to fly and use what's called a buddy box system, where your instructor has one set of controls, you have another set of controls, and he can always take over at a moment's notice if things get out of hand. I'm also going to say, if that's not you and you're just going to go out and do it on your own, please, 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 really survey the area around where you're going to fly. Don't go out and fly in a parking lot with a bunch of cars. Even these little foam airplanes, they can weigh up to 2, 4, 6 pounds. And those hitting a car at 60 miles per hour, they're going to do damage. If they hit a person, they're going to do damage. If they hit a house, they're going to do damage. Know the area you fly in. Know the limits of where you want to fly in that area. So let's talk about my first kit a little bit. Like I said, it's a Midwest Aerostar 60. They're no longer made. I found this on Facebook. I got what I thought was a good deal on it. It's a great, great plane. I plan on powering it with the Enya 84 stroke. Great classic 4-stroke. I love the way 4-strokes sound. I can't wait to see this plane in the air. I can't wait to take over the controls on this plane. I'm just psyched up about doing that. You may want to fly smaller planes. This is kind of like where I think I really start to enjoy the way planes fly, is when you get to a 60 size planes. I'm sure if you're sticking with glow and you're referencing plane size off the size of the glow engine, the smaller 20s, they fly good. The medium 40s, they fly good. The 60s, I think they fly great. The larger the plane is, the bigger the wing is, the better they deal with wind, which wind is an issue here in Texas, and I think just about anywhere you're going to have some sort of wind. Their airfoils are bigger. Their wing loading as you go up, they're better loaded aircraft. That's why you see these guys out here with these huge airplanes to do 3D and things like that. It's not because they have to have a plane that big to do 3D. It's because planes that size just fly better. There's nothing about it. When those foam crap planes and ultralight planes and things like that, sure, they fly around fine, but they don't fly around great. Even when they do fly great, you get in too much wind and they can be a real handful. So I'm sticking with the larger planes. I will build some smaller planes. I'll fly some smaller planes. I've got a bunch of kits down here that I've kind of stockpiled to keep us going for a while, and I'm sure I'll find some more. But if you're looking, I would recommend finding something in the 40 size to start out with, at least. If you can find a 60, great. And this brings up finding a kit. eBay and Marketplace are great resources to find kits. They can be high. Marketplace is generally a little lower. It's generally people getting rid of stuff they really don't know much about. But I'm just going to say, be careful if you're getting the kit shipped. Watch the shipping charges really, really close. And on eBay, watch the prices, because some of them, they are outrageous. And then you look down and, you know, the shipping is as much as the kit, and it's just not right. I think people out there are using that as an extra source to bump up their income. That's just my feeling. I'll give you an example. I recently bought a Lanier Giant Stinger. It's a big box, but the person I bought it from, it only cost him $66 to ship it. And shipping prices are up, so I thought that $66 was fair. On eBay, there's a plane, and I'm not going to call it out, but the kit price is a little high, but it's swallowable. And it's a plane I really want. And the box is going to be probably a little bit smaller, just a little bit smaller than the Giant Stinger box. The guy wants $200 to ship it. And he's going to charge $200, and he's going to pocket, you know, 100, 120 of that. And that's just, I'm not going to buy into that. I don't care how much I want the kit. I don't care how long it's been out of production. But luckily, there are still a few places that are manufacturing kit. And I say few, it seems like that more and more kit resources are becoming available. One of the traditional old-time RC aircraft modeling companies, SIG Aircraft, they're talking about releasing their Cadet LT-40 kit again, as well as their something extra, which is kind of a extra 300 knockoff in kit form, not ARF, in kits. And then you have resources if you're looking for trainer planes, like Old School Model Works. They have what they call the 56. It'd make a good trainer plane. It's not going to look like your typical trainer plane, but it'd make a really good trainer plane. You've got Balsa USA, another company that's been around for a long, long time. That's what they call their Stick 40 Plus. Before I built my second trainer plane, I had one of these little Stick 40 Pluses, and it's really what I learned to fly on. Legends Hobby has a Seagull kit. Dang, I didn't forget what the name of it is. And excuse me, I'm trying to do most of this out of my 54-year-old head, which is not the... I'm not together memory-wise, partially because of all the treatment I've been through as I once was. But anyway, yeah, Legends Hobbies has a Seagull kit. I think Hangar One, which they're a company out of Australia, but they ship to the United States all the time. They have an RCM trainer kit. Great kit. Designed by Joe Britty, one of my favorite designers. Renowned for his pattern planes. There's also the option to where you can buy what's called a short kit. All the complex cut parts, the ribs, the fuselage formers, the firewall, things of that nature that have, you know, that are really hard for you to cut yourself. They're pre-cut for you. There's a gentleman named Rob. He has a website called the Balsa Workbench. And all these websites I'll link in the description. And Rob has a short kit of this plane. He has all of the perfect trainers, the Perfect Trainer 20, 40, 60. He has the RCM trainer that I talked about, which could be a 40 or 60 size. Great resource. You can get all these cuts. You can go to your Hobby Lobby. You can go online to SIG or Balsa USA or National Balsa. You've got to buy like the flat sheeting and the sticks or spars or whatever. But all the really hard cutting is already done. So you go to Balsa Workbench. His prices are, I think his prices are way too low, that he should be charging more than he does. But you can go there and get those, and boom. You make a list of things that you need to buy those, and you've got the same thing I've got here, which you can get the plans online for this. You can get the instruction book online for this at no cost, and you can build the same plane I'm building. And I'd like to close this evening with talking about these old kits. If you buy an old kit, there's some places online where you can find the plans. There's Outer Zone, there's Aerofred, and they're kind of like a library that's storing all these old plans out there. So you can take those plans and you can use those plans to cut your own parts, to scratch build an airplane, so to speak. And if you buy an old kit, I just implore you, please look on those websites, see if the plans are there. If they're not, take them to Kinko's, get them scanned, upload them to those websites so that plane's going to live on. You may have the last kit out there, and if you build the kit and cut up those plans and throw those plans away, that's it. It kind of ends with you. But I really am looking forward to get started doing this. I can't wait to get feedback, and please do not hesitate to give me feedback about anything I'm doing. If it's video tips, if it's building tips, flying tips, stories. I would love to be able to share stuff like that with my viewers and just anybody. Again, I am just truly excited to get this project going, to start up Texas Travelers, hopefully get some people interested in that, just bringing attention to the sport, events, getting more people traveling again, going to other events, not just hanging out at their local field, doing the same old, every other weekend or during the weekdays. Actually get them excited about going somewhere, helping fund other clubs. I appreciate you watching this channel. I hope you follow me. I'm not going to ask people to subscribe and like every video. But I appreciate you hanging in there with me through this long rambling video, and this is probably going to be as rambling as I get. Have a good evening. God bless.